Okay, so what I recognized was that Phi Iota Alpha collects for UNICEF, and I'm Phi Iota Alpha, and we were collecting money to give back to the IMF, and the IMF is not allowing Puerto Ricans freedom because we're the ones that owe the IMF, and the IMF owes the Chinese and the Japanese. Konnichiwa, uh, Nei Hao. So we are stuck, salam alaikum. We are stuck in a conundrum because as Puerto Ricans, we want our identity, want our homeland, we want to be having our own democracy, to be able to vote like everyone else, be equal on everybody else, whether you believe or you disbelieve, whether you're an Illuminati or you are a Mason or you're an Elk or you are a Knights of Columbus or you're a part of the branches of the orders of the Friars. All of these things, we want to be treated on the same life, just like Malcolm X. Malcolm X fought so that people of skin can be able to be respected in humanistic ways. But this fake social structure in which exists in the mind, in the psychology of the human being, is a disease. And so, because Puerto Ricans are like white Indians, which is rarely discussed in topics of race, but there are races now that never existed before. So now there's a whole nother different type of projection later on in what we're going to see in life. But Puerto Ricans want to be treated the same as everyone else. The problem is that the banking industry, which Phi Iota Alpha collects, is collecting money from the populace only to give back to basically the bearers of the financial institution who give us money so that we could live and thrive and do things in community. But it also, what the IMF also does is actually takes money from banks, international banks. So if you have if you are a competitive bank, like if the British and the Russians want to build a IMF bank and export that banking system, they know that the IMF is going to war it and use military tactics by insurgents or mercenaries to go attack that bank. This is something I've never really studied and seen before, but it is really happening because the IMF controls the FBI. The FBI has agents who do robberies, that have agents, because they want to so-called entrap or so-called catch mastermind people. And so they go and do different formulas to attack the person or attack the what their objectives are. So they go attack somebody and steal money or investigate whatever it is, shoot people basically, just to go in to see their operations. That's why the Italians always have problems. The Italian mafia always had problems because of the banking industries, not because of the selling liquor, because they were making money, but somebody, the state, wanted some piece of that pie. So here comes the IMF with the bad boys with the big machine guns, and then they start making their family war in between themselves, and before you know it, each other warring tribes, because it's called divide and conquer. They're shooting at each other, and before you know it, it was their fault, not the banking industry, which is that's how they do it because they have people with different capabilities. You're talking about people with psychology, people with military tacticians, people with the banking knowledge, financial mind, analysis, economics. You talk about all different aerial projection masterminds. Forget about it. And they're all funded under the IMF. They can hit you for so many ways that they'll leave you lopsided with no hands and bones and think that it was God that made you this way. But that's how it is. And so basically, but everybody knows that this system is insolvent and just is not working, but it's still some way, somehow, it's trying to manifest that policy either way. And this is why people need to boycott the United Nations, because every country, if they don't boycott the United Nations, Puerto Rico won't be sitting at the human rights table along with every other country in the world. to change the countries, to change the world for a better economic system, away from semi-militias attacking other banking industries, so that one country can have a social status over another. Take care.